I would love to see, trillion humans living in the solar system.
As big ideas go, there is perhaps none as big and as bold as Jeff Bezos' construct for the future of humanity. And whilst Elon Musk's mission of colonizing Mars, which is perhaps as equally a big idea, is well known and publicized, Bezos' plan of having humans living off Earth is less well known. The basic premise of both billionaires is that in the future, planet Earth will be under greater strain from a larger global population and the associated need Earth's resources to support a larger humanity. As such, both Bezos and Musk have developed space missions to alleviate some of this strain for future generations. But it is Bezos' plan of O'Neill space stations, named after American physicist and space activist Gerard O'Neill, that will really excite the imagination of any futurist or science fiction fan. Indeed, in the movie Interstellar, the Cooper station is depicted as a massive O'Neill cylinder orbiting Saturn, showcasing the concept of rotating habitats that create artificial gravity. But it is the magnitude of Bezos' mission and its audacity that I'm interested in. After all, these space stations will not be complete in Bezos' own lifetime. The mission will outlast its founder, and he knew that going into this venture, which started back in the year 2000. Bezos' plan for humans' future in space is a multi-generational endeavor, much like the building of the Great Wall of China, which took over 2,500 years to build, or the relatively short-term build of the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, which is expected to be finally completed in 2026, marking a construction period of only 144 years. But what are O'Neill space stations in the first place? And what are the key steps to execute on a plan to build them? And why does Bezos believe that O'Neill space stations is the way forward for humanity? So much so that he is staking his reputation, his lifetime, and his legacy on that one premise. Earth is precious, but we're pushing it to the brink. Jeff Bezos, the billionaire founder of Amazon and Blue Origin, has a radical solution: move millions of people off planet. But he's not suggesting we all pack our bags for Mars. Bezos envisions a future where we maintain Earth as a pristine residential and light industrial zone while moving heavy industry and energy production into space. It's like giving our planet a much-needed break as it comes increasingly under greater and greater strain. And the key to this plan? O'Neill space stations, massive habitats orbiting close to the Earth. Bezos believes these structures are the answer to our environmental and, in time, overpopulation problems, and that they are the key to unlocking the vast resources of our solar system. But why stay close to the Earth? Well, simple. Most people won't want to stray too far from home. They'll want the option to pop back for holidays, family reunions, or just a nostalgic visit to their favorite coffee shop. Plus, building these stations near Earth makes the whole process more manageable. It's like setting up a new apartment. You'd rather move your stuff across town than across the country. But these space stations aren't just about preserving Earth. They're about expanding our horizons. Quite literally, with the resources of the entire solar system at our fingertips, we could support 1 trillion humans in the solar system. That's a lot of potential for innovation, creativity, and progress. Bezos argues that we're facing energy constraints on Earth. We're using up resources faster than we can replenish them. But in space, energy is practically unlimited. The sun is always shining, and we don't have to worry about cloudy days or nighttime interrupting our solar power collection. But more than this, these space habitats could be tailored to our needs. Want to live in a low-gravity environment? There's a station for that. Prefer the hustle and bustle of a high-density urban area? That can also be arranged. The possibilities are as vast as space itself. But perhaps the most compelling reason for Bezos' space utopia is what it means for Earth. By moving resource-intensive industries off-planet, we give our home world a chance to recover and thrive. Imagine a future where Earth is primarily reserved for residential and light industrial use, with its natural beauty preserved for generations to come. But what exactly are O'Neill space stations, and how would they work? Picture a massive soda can floating in space, but instead of fizzy drinks, it's filled with cities, farms, and maybe even national parks. That's the basic idea behind an O'Neill cylinder. These structures, proposed by physicist Gerard K. O'Neill in the 1970s, are essentially giant rotating cylinders in space. They're designed to be several miles long and wide, providing ample space for millions of inhabitants. The rotation is key here. It's not just for show. It creates artificial gravity through centrifugal force. Imagine swinging a bucket of water around in a circle. The water stays in the bucket because of the centrifugal force. And this is the same principle, but on a much grander scale. This means you wouldn't be floating around like a lost astronaut. You'd walk, run, and live much like you do on Earth. Inside an O'Neill cylinder, you'd find a slice of Earth, blue skies, green parks, and bustling communities. But here's where it gets really interesting. We could control everything from the weather to the length of the days. The structure would consist of 2 counter-rotating cylinders, each with 3 strips of land, alternating with 3 windows. The large windows would use an array of mirrors to direct sunlight into the interior, creating a natural day-night cycle. It's like having a cosmic light switch. But what about radiation, you might ask? Well, good question. The cylinders would be shielded to protect inhabitants from cosmic rays and solar radiation. It's like living in a giant comfy spacesuit. One of the coolest aspects of the O'Neill cylinders is their potential for customization. Want to live in a tropical paradise? That's possible. Prefer a more temperate climate? That would also be possible. Each cylinder could be designed to mimic different Earth environments, or even create entirely new ones. And it's not just about recreating Earth. These stations could offer experiences impossible on our home planet. Imagine low-gravity sports arenas, zero-G dance clubs, or research facilities that take advantage of the unique space environment. Agriculture would also play a big role in these space habitats. Hydroponic farms could provide fresh food for the inhabitants, while carefully managed ecosystems could maintain air quality and provide green spaces. It's like having a self-sustaining garden in space. The size of these structures is hard to comprehend. We're talking about habitats that could house millions of people each. It's like taking a major city and launching it into orbit. But unlike Earth cities, which often grow haphazardly, these space cities could be meticulously planned for efficiency and quality of life. It takes urban planning to a completely new level. But building these space utopias isn't going to be simple. Bezos has laid out a 2-stage plan to make it happen, and Blue Origin is already working on both stages. The first stage is all about lowering the cost of access to space. Right now, launching anything into orbit is eye-wateringly expensive. It's like taking a taxi ride where the meter starts at $1 million. Bezos wants to make it as cheap and easy as catching a bus. This is where Blue Origin's reusable rockets come in. Their new Glenn rocket, currently in development, is designed to launch and land multiple times. The principle here is similar to current-day air travel. Imagine if every time you wanted to fly somewhere, airlines had to build a brand new plane for your journey, then throw it away after a single use. Only because airplanes can be used over and over again for multiple trips, the usage is so widespread and commercially viable. That's the same idea behind these rockets. By reusing the most expensive parts of the rocket, we can dramatically cut the cost per launch. But New Glenn is just the beginning. Blue Origin is also working on a much larger rocket called New Armstrong, named after that Armstrong. While details are scarce, it's expected to be capable of launching much heavier payloads, exactly what you'd need to start building massive space stations. The second stage of Bezos' plan focuses on harnessing resources from space. Hauling all the materials from Earth would be a logistical nightmare, not to mention incredibly expensive. Instead, Bezos wants to use resources already out there. The moon could become our cosmic hardware store. We'd mine it for materials, then use those to construct our space stations right there in orbit. It's like building a treehouse and using the wood from the tree itself. Blue Origin's already working on this, and with their Blue Moon lander designed to deliver cargo to the lunar surface, it's the first step in setting up our off-world construction site. The lander could deliver mining equipment, construction robots, and other necessary tools to the moon. Once we've got our lunar mining operation up and running, we can start the actual construction of the O'Neill cylinders. And here's where it gets really interesting. These massive structures would be building in space. Might sound crazy, but it's actually genius. There's no gravity to fight against, no weather to worry about, and plenty of room to work. It's like a game of Minecraft or the ultimate Lego set, but on a cosmic scale. The construction would likely involve large 3D printers using materials mined from the moon and asteroids. Robots and astronauts would work together to assemble the components, gradually building up the cylinder piece by piece. Of course, all of this is easier said than done. We're talking about engineering and construction challenges on a scale we never attempted before. But that's exactly the kind of challenge that Bezos and Blue Origin are gearing up for. The road to Bezos' space utopia is long and challenging, but the potential rewards are astronomical. It's not just about creating cool space habitats. It's about ensuring a bright future for humanity, both on Earth and among the stars. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy hearing about stories in tech and you want to support the channel, the best thing you can do is to like this video and to subscribe. See you for the next one.